Hi, everyone, welcome back to English Stories Hub today. I will share with you an emotional story that you can improve your English fluency. Let's get started. When I was 10, I had a dream so alive it filled every corner of my imagination. I wanted to be a painter. Not just any painter, but one whose colors could make people stop in the street. Whose art could make them feel joy, sadness, wonder all at once. Every afternoon, I would sit by my small desk, near the window and paint. Dragons danced across castles, rivers glimmered with golden light, and skies bled shades of purple I had only seen in my mind. It was my secret paradise, my escape. But my father didn't understand. He was a practical man, a man of numbers, schedules, and certainty. When I told him I wanted to be a painter, he frowned. "Painting doesn't pay the bills," he said one evening, looking at my watercolor with thin lips. "You should think about your future." I tried to explain how art could move people, how I could tell stories with color and light, but he shook his head. "You're smart," he said firmly. "Focus on something real: engineering, medicine, law, something useful." I remember lying in bed that night, staring at the ceiling, trying to convince myself he was right. Perhaps dreams were just illusions. I obeyed him. I studied engineering, took extra math and science classes, earned scholarships, and got praise. But it wasn't my pride, it was his. I had given up my dream before I even realized it. I never painted again. Years passed. I became an engineer, successful in the eyes of the world. I designed buildings, machines, and systems that worked perfectly. People admired me, my father often said. "You're making me proud," and I nodded, hollowly. It was not my life I was living, it was his. One summer, I found my old sketchbook buried under textbooks. My heart clenched when I opened it. The dragons, rivers, and purple skies were still there, alive. I tried to paint again, but my hands hesitated. My confidence was gone. And then I remembered my father's words, the way he had dismissed my dreams, and guilt washed over me. I didn't finish the painting. I hid my brushes, locked the sketchbook, and tried to forget. Years later, my mother noticed. One rainy evening, she found me staring out the office window. "You're not happy," she said softly. I didn't answer. "You've lost something," she said. "Something that mattered to you," I whispered. "I lost my dream." She asked gently, "Who took it from you?" I didn't need to answer. I already knew. That night, I pulled out my sketchbook again. My hands shook as I turned the pages. My heart ached at the lost years. But for the first time in years, I felt a spark. I could still paint. I started again, secretly, late at night, slowly, cautiously. At first, it felt awkward, almost shameful. But then the joy returned, the freedom, the creation, the imagination. My dream was waking from a long sleep. I never confronted my father, partly because he was gone, partly because it didn't matter. Holding a grudge wouldn't bring back lost years. Instead, I focused on reclaiming what I could: my creativity, my imagination, my love for art. He took my childhood freedom, my innocence, the years I could have spent dreaming without fear. But he could not take everything. He could not erase the part of me that still longed to create now. I paint every day, not for money, not for praise, but for the boy I once was, for the dreams I almost lost, and for the freedom I finally reclaimed. Dreams can be fragile, easily buried under someone else's expectations, but they are never gone. They live quietly in the heart, waiting for courage to return. And when I paint, I am free.